Welcome to Under Your Bed. Today I'm talking about The Rehearsal, Season 2, Episode 3. It's called Pilot's Code. It is unhinged. The episode starts with Nathan talking with Bogan and Monique, a couple who cloned their dead dog, Achilles. The cloning process produced 3 identical dogs, and the couple is disappointed that the 3 identical dogs that were cloned from Achilles don't act exactly like Achilles. Nathan Fielder theorizes that it's because these 3 new dogs weren't raised the same as the original dog. It's the whole nature versus nurture. So they're the same genetically, but weren't raised the same. Nathan decides to recreate the circumstances of Achilles' puppyhood. So he recreates 2011, so the same house, the same environment. This includes actors raising the puppy who act the same as the couple, even shipping in the air from the city that they originally were living in. They even have 3 sets of actors so that they can raise the puppy 24 hours a day for 4 months to try to get the dog to act the same. All of this is pretty par for the course for The Rehearsal. He did something similar in the first season where they played with having Nathan be a father. And so they switched out the child every so often. But this time they're only really affecting the dog, which is probably more morally acceptable. All of this is building towards the idea of pilots and their upbringing and how does that affect them in the pilot seat. Nathan has been reading Sully Sullenberger's autobiography because he's sort of a model of like the perfect pilot that he wants the other pilots to act like. So is there a way to raise or rehearse being a child as Sully Sullenberger and becoming the best pilot? This whole experiment is pretty extreme, so he thinks he himself should do it first. This is where the episode gets completely bizarre, completely absurdist, hysterical, where I was like, I can't believe what I'm watching. um, this segment starts off with Nathan shaving off his body hair, putting on a bald cap, having a team of people help him to look like a baby. And then he walks into this oversized set that makes it so he's the size of a baby compared to everything else in the room. He's put in a harness and hoisted up into his crib because it's super gigantic. He looks completely absurd as a baby. All of this is so that he can have the childhood or the experience of being a baby in the same way that Sully Sullenberger's baby experience was like. Obviously, this is not what anyone's baby experience is like. A giant puppet mother comes into the room, changes his diaper, and then breastfeeds him. Uh, the milk from the breast is shooting out, and so he's pretty much waterboarded by breast milk. um, this whole time, he's talking about, trying to get into the mindset of a baby. And obviously this is going to help him become a better pilot, or at least test the experiment of that he could theoretically have other pilots do. Um, this continues throughout all of Sully Sullenberger's childhood and adulthood, recreating moments from the autobiography. The whole thing continues to be more, well, never more absurd than the baby part, but obviously would never be something to create better pilots. But he does get insights from the autobiography, because at one point he sort of figures out that like pilots can't go to therapy, can't really talk about their lives because it could risk revoking their license to fly. At one point, Sully Sullenberger gets an iPod, and I won't ruin that part of the plot just in case you haven't seen it, but it's also brilliant. The whole episode is brilliant. Uh, maybe one of the most absurd things, one of the most absurd things that I've seen. One of my favorite episodes, as far as humor and absurdity goes, of the rehearsal. I don't know if they'll be able to make anything more absurd than some of the scenes in this, but it was definitely worth my time and worth your time if you've been watching the rehearsal. I think you know that it's unlike anything that's been on television before, and I love it. So thanks for watching this review reaction. I will talk about the rehearsal when the next episode comes out. Please like and subscribe. I only have 25 subscribers, and I'd like more than that. So thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your week. Hopefully I'll review a few books this week. So thanks. Bye.